So first thing is finding the location. Your rents today is like people expect 200 to 300 rupees a square feet, which technically is not possible for anyone having a space of about 7 to 8,000. Like your rent will shoot up to 14 to 15 lakh or 20 lakh, depending on where you're located, which is technically not possible for a 7-8K restaurant to generate so much and pay the rent. Number one place where the lot of economics are going wrong is what I feel. But luckily, we have been fortunate enough where we have good land bank, and we are paying a fair number of rent, so that our whole P&L works out better way. So that is one. One, you find the location, then your rentals.
Okay.
Then comes the architecture. So when you do up an interior, you can do up a space in 100 rupees or it can go up to 1,000 rupees. It depends completely on the client and how well the interior designer is fooling him or he's making him do what is needed. So you can buy a chair for 3,000 rupees. I'll give an example. So we buy our furniture from China. We've been buying furniture from China since 2017, 16. Initially, we did it here. So this chair, I don't know the chair you're sitting on right now. It may cost 15 to 18,000 in Bangalore,
There you go.
right?
Yes.
So you go to China, you'll get the same chair for about 2,500 rupees.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's a different world. So when I visited China, I realized the pace they are in, the future they are already in. Like I feel it's impossible for India to get there. Technically, no matter how advanced we say we are, they have just crossed. There are many finishes which even in India doesn't happen till date.
So I've been told there are manufacturing villages for each category.
Yes,
So for furniture,
there's a different city.
right, because we've been told today white labeling is one thing that everybody is doing. They get the product from there, they add their name to it. I don't even want to probably name few. Could be the oaks or could be whatever that you're looking at in the market. Anybody who's guaranteeing you, giving you the price benefit and the designs changing in rapidly. So
Yeah.
that's the key. Okay. So when you went to China, oh, firstly, I mean, this is literally blowing our mind as to anybody who's wanting to do drop shipping or white labeling. Probably it can help them. So please walk us through. How do you go to China? I mean, how do you find the vendors? Like, how do you trust?
So again, my partner Faizan, he had actually confirmed a kitchen order to a friend who said he's getting it from China, and he was cheated. So we didn't have the trust factor when we had to actually get the furnitures. But coincidentally, a friend of ours called Latif, he's into this business. His business is to just get everything like a table. He gets maybe 1,000 quantity of table, 1,000 quantity of same standard design of furniture, and sells it to distributors. So he doesn't sell it directly to the customers. So he happened to be a friend of Faizan through cricket. They play cricket together. So then with him we went, and after our consignment came to Bangalore, we were like, okay, our consignment has come. Till then even we had our doubts. After that, it's very easy. For candles, we did online shopping. So it was during COVID when we were executing candles, and we had to place the furniture. So we literally did online shopping for that. Now it's
Got
pretty
it.
easier now. Once the trust has built with him, it's easy for us.
Any website or anything that you would like to drop in? Like, this is a starting point if somebody is wanting to buy or start a business in China or from China. Nothing?
All I know is to import there. I mean,
As
not,
in,
not through.
I was just looking at the websites or contacts that how does one get these online? Is it
So for
available?
furniture, as I said, my friend, his furniture store is called Hubli Furnitures.
Hubli.
Hubli, yeah.
So, okay. So,
So
if you Google,
if you Google or probably look at Instagram,
so he's a distributor.
he's a distributor, yeah.
So his source is somebody in China that usually is not revealed, right?
He's an Indian.
Oh,
Yeah, in China. He's settled in China. He's married a Chinese.
oh, wow. Nice. Thanks for introducing us to the concept of how China eases out your cost when it comes to setting up a pub or
Yeah.
any hotel space. So we discussed about the interiors, rent, location, interiors, and the
And the main
architecture.
part. Architecture, as I discussed, it depends on who's designing the space, how well you save your money. You can do up a space in 30% of the budget of what an architect gives generally, because that's the kickback people have. And me being in interiors, all our spaces are turned around in a shorter value of money and time, because I have connects with vendors. The planning is more personal than than it would have been another person doing it up.
Also personal, and you can read through the quotes and you can see
What is
what
needed or
is
what isn't.
what
not
is
required, yeah.
inflated and then stuff. Okay. And the last part is?
The main part, staffing.
So walk us through the numbers. For example, your first hit pub was Hammered, right?
Yeah.
I've been to the space. It had lot of graffiti walls.
Cunningham Road, yeah.
Cunningham Road, and then at any point in time, I'm assuming you must have had 100 people.
We were a 400 seater, so I think any point of time on a weekday we would have about 400 walk-ins in a day. So any point of time about 150 to 200 people.
So for a 400 walk-in per day, even on a weekday, it is 150 people serving the place, running
About
the
100.
operations, 100 to 150. So 1:4. So for every 4 person walking into your
You have one person.
thing, you have one. Okay. So this is a universal rule.
Mostly, yeah. It's like a thumb rule.
1:4.
Yeah.
All right. So
It's more like 1:36. We usually divide it like one captain should take care of 36 people. About 5-6 tables. That's
Got it.
how it is.
So I was trying to do every 4 person gets served by one. So here you're almost saying the same one.
Same thing,
One
yeah,
is
it's pretty much same,
3.6. Okay. So once you get the staff in place, how do you ensure
They don't
trust
They
and
stay, yeah.
yeah.
So for us, what played a major role was we were from the cafe background. So we had that trusted source of chefs and the service boys who were with us. But the other side, we didn't know about bars. Like we didn't know how the whole bar industry works. So that's where we hired a consultant for that space. And they set up the whole bar menu, food menu. Food menu was mainly by me and Faizan. And we still feel whatever we do together has always worked wonders.
Example I think I've seen trends like puliyogre poppers. I mean, I'm just giving you random
Not so extreme, but
random trends.
we
but
were the
yeah.
first guys to introduce chicken sukka golgappa in Bangalore. It happened over a conversation. So I'm a big fan of sukka. And, my Faizan was saying we should introduce pani puri. Then I said, let's give it a different twist. So, we put the sukka into the pani puri and gave it with pani.
Is it the same thing which used to come on a truck?
Yes,
which
yes.
had-
Not bad, you remember.
Yeah, see, that's a recall value, right? Okay, so
And we were the first guy to do ads for Facebook. Like I don't think people would shoot videos back then. We used to shoot proper videos, like a technical video, edited, background music, all that. Because the reason being, I was from the industry, so I had connects with people, cinematographers, editors, all that. So yeah, coming back to staff, usually what happens is not all consultants. Majority of consultants look at getting a project, making their money, and getting out.
okay.
So first 3 or 4 months once the place opens, you'll see that staff. Once the consultant is out, the whole staff is out.
Oh,
So your quality drops.
they take them along, is it?
It's a very standard practice. So you have to choose your consultant very carefully. And they have kickbacks in everything. Like you buy rice, you buy furniture, you buy garden, landscape, anything.
Crazy. So that consultant can either make or break your business. I mean, if at all, if you don't know if you're not knee deep in the business.
Nobody can make or break. It's you. If you're smart enough, you'll get through it.
Yeah.
You'll have to be smart enough to read people. That's what I believe. I mean, see, how irrespective of how smart you are, people will cheat you. It's a business. Business itself is, a game of cards. how well you play it. So you have to be smart enough. So you have to understand how your vendors are. Like you have to compare the market. You have to see varieties. And now there are a lot of online portals. Like one of the best portal is Zomato Hyperpure. So you're ordering online, your price is fixed. There is no connect between the guy ordering and the material coming in. So he won't keep a kickback. Plus your quality is good. Now we have moved into that model.
Because
So we
everything
order
is
everything
getting
online.
Corporatized, and even Zomato
Corporatized,
will
yeah.
have an edge in serving to that category of like B2B.
Correct.